If you've followed me for any length of time, you know that jukebox musicals aren't really my thing. They more or less just take up space in the musical theater lexicon, in my opinion. There are a couple that have elevated the musical theater form, but more or less they are here purely for the sake of celebrating the artist who originates the music, never really challenging the audience in any way. Jukebox shows are usually light on conflict, light on story, and heavy on the music, focusing on the performance of the song and less on developing the characters along the way. This puts a hefty burden on the cast, especially the one playing the lead, on making the show entertaining. Hello, and welcome to episode 53 of One Man's Opinion, where I review professional theater across Connecticut and New York. Today I am reviewing Music Theater of Connecticut's production of Buddy, the Buddy Holly story, with a book by Alan Janes, directed by Kevin Connors, and featuring the music of Buddy Holly and a handful of other contemporaries. Buddy, the Buddy Holly story is obviously about Buddy Holly, and his journey from fledgling musician from Lubbock, Texas, to one of the first great names of rock and roll, to his fateful one night of February 3rd, 1959, when he, Ritchie Valens, and the Big Bopper, along with pilot Roger Peterson, died in a plane crash after a concert in Clear Lake, Iowa. Spiff Wiegand carries the bulk of the burden of keeping Buddy afloat as the titular Buddy Holly. He gives the young rocker a wide-eyed optimism and joy of doing everything he does. Every experience is new and exciting in his portrayal of Buddy. It's youthful, exuberant, and a real joy to watch. The rest of the cast is good, picking up the various ensemble characters throughout. The quality of their performances shift depending on the role they're playing in the moment. Elena Ramos Pascuyo is good as Buddy's tender but justifiably firm-minded girlfriend, then wife, Maria Elena. Jimmy Lewis, who makes a good Big Bopper, was better as the various blustering producers Buddy has to hurdle over the course of the show. And Gian Raffaele DiConstanzo plays a svelte and energetic Ritchie Valens, for whom I wish at least some of the performances he'll get an enthusiastic lady in the front row that he can swivel his hips to during La Bamba. As dedicated as the cast is, it's an uphill battle for them, as the book doesn't give much to work with. There is essentially little to no conflict in Buddy. There are a couple short challenges where Buddy wants to drop playing country music for rock and roll, upsetting DJ High Pockets Duncan, played by Adam von Allman. There's dealing with the various producers to get what he wants, and those are all resolved in a matter of minutes. The only thing closely resembling a real conflict is in the second act, after Buddy has married Maria and comes back to their recording studio in Clovis, New Mexico, to find his Crickets band members drunk, and his manager Norman Petty, played by Robert Mobley, and his wife Vi, played by Blair Alexis Brown, behaving bigoted towards Elena. But even then, the biggest conflict of the show, it is resolved in under 10 minutes, in this 2+ hour runtime. But then there is the music, and being a Buddy Holly fan myself, it is hard not to be swept up in the joy of the music. All the cast are exceptional with their music performances. Wiegand specifically is great performing as Buddy, even if he doesn't particularly look much like him. I do love the energy coming from Matt Ruff and Ken Sandberg, who played Joe B. Maudlin and Jerry Allison, respectively, as Buddy's bandmates in the Crickets. They really do get into the silliness and playfulness of playing on stage, especially as young, horny men looking for attention from female audience members. The audience I was with didn't grasp onto the finale of the first act, which is set at the Apollo Theater. There may be various reasons for it. I think that the scene comes out of left field, and for a few songs it isn't about Buddy Holly anymore, and it feels like we're in a totally different show. Once the characters are brought into the scene, it starts to work itself out, though. Buddy, the Buddy Holly story doesn't move any mountains in telling the story of Buddy Holly. There's no heroic moments that are presented. It's just a story about a man and his music. If you take it for what it is, Buddy will be an enjoyable show. But if you want something with deeper resonance or some level of profoundness, you won't get much here. And that's One Man's Opinion of Buddy, the Buddy Holly story at Music Theater of Connecticut. Leave your opinion in comments below. If you're interested in tickets, I'll leave a link in the description. Like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to be the first to see when my next review is posted. Speaking of which, I'm finally getting to see MJ. It was finally rescheduled, and that should be the next review coming. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the theater.